Today Friday, 18th September 2015. First, let's look at the paper highlights of today's newspaper Daily Mirror. Domestic mechanism with international expertise, Mangala. Level of international role to be decided via consultations. Proposed four-tied mechanism to conclude within 18 months. Says OYSL report is well balanced and sober. Says no necessary for separate OHCR official in Sri Lanka. No objection to the existing UN office in Sri Lanka. Plan to have the consultation process in the domestic inquiry mechanism by October. Although a definitive response was not expressed concerning the OCHR recommended hybrid special court to deal with accountability issues, Foreign Affairs Minister Mangala Samaravira yesterday confirmed an international role in the domestic inquiry mechanism and added the government plan to conclude the proposed process within 18 months. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror. UNHRC resolution should be turned in Sri Lanka's favor. The United Nations Human Rights Commission resolution should not be published but rather diligently turned in Sri Lanka's favor, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said yesterday. Commenting on UNHRC issues at the ceremony held to mark the 119th birth anniversary of Mr. J.R. Jayawardena last evening, Mr. Wickremesinghe said the UNHRC issue should be handled with care. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror. Government should probe charges anyway. While rejecting a majority of the war crimes charges in the UNHRC report, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca called upon the government yesterday to probe the charges anyway, asserting that there could be isolated incident which had led to charges leveled against the Sri Lanka Security Forces personnel. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror. Court orders hospital to release body. A Colombo court yesterday ordered the management of the Lanka Hospital Corporation plc that the body of the deceased person be immediately released to the close relatives, which was reportedly retained under the hospital custody for 7 days until the hospital bill was settled. The deceased Tilak Daluwatta of Ragama Batuwatta, he died in the hospital on September 11th while he was receiving on-house treatment following bypass surgery. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror. Saya's murder schoolboy taken into custody. A 17-year-old schoolboy living in the vicinity has been taken for the questioning by the CID over the abduction, rape and murder of Saya Sandevmi of Aggarangaha, Kotadeniyawa. Another news highlight from Daily Mirror. COC Expressway, Kadawatta to Kaduvela segment opened. The Kadawatta to Kaduvela segment of the Colombo Outer Curricular Expressway was declared open yesterday by Highways Minister Lakshman Kiriyalla. The expressway was open to the public from 9 a.m. yesterday, the Ministry of Highways said. A toll of ₹100 will be charged for light vehicles that travel from Kadawatta to Kaduvela on the expressway, while ₹200 will be charges for heavy vehicles. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Daily News. Egnaligoda disappearance, Brigadier UNHRC questioned for 6 hours. The CID yesterday recorded a statement from former Army Intelligence Chief Brigadier Aruna UNHRC over journalist Progith Egnaligoda disappearance. Police sources told the Daily News the Brigadier UNHRC was questioned for nearly 6 hours yesterday. Brigadier UNHRC was the chief of the Army Intelligence at the time Egnaligoda disappeared. Several members of the army who were previously attached to intelligence unit have been denied by the CID over Ekneligoda disappearance. It has been established that the journalist was taken to the Grittle army camp following his abduction in Rajagiriya 2 days before the presidential election in 2010. Another news highlight from Daily News: JVP proposal for immediate reforms. The aspirations of the masses in effecting a change on January 8 went much beyond the May defeat of Mahinda Rajapaksa as individual, the Janata Vimukti Peramuna said. 9 months have passed since a new administration enunciating the good governance policies was established to replace Mahinda Rajapaksa rotten political culture that had affected the socio-political system of this country for nearly a decade, the JVP stated in a release. The release added the aspirations of the masses in voting in the new mandate on January 8 did go beyond the defeat of Rajapaksa as individual. It was to get rid of the political cultural nature during the period and to establish political, legal and administrative reforms that would prevent the repetition of such a situation. Also, a number of reforms demanded and agitated for by political and civil organizations for a long period had been included in the manifesto for the presidential election held on 8 January 8. These reforms were also included in the manifesto of the government presented for the general election held on August 17. Another news highlight from Daily News: TNA welcomes OCHR report on Sri Lanka. The Tamil National Alliance TNA has welcomed the report of the investigation conducted by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and its recommendations. The most important recommendation of the report calls on Sri Lanka to establish a special hybrid court to try perpetrators of international crimes during the 9-year period with the participation of international judges, prosecutors and investigators, and incorporating into domestic law war crimes and crime against humanity so that these prosecutions can take place in the party states in release. Now let's move to the paper highlights from Ceylon today. Linked to illegal treasure hunt, AG orders ex-Vaunia DIG's arrest. Police are exploring the possibility of arresting former Deputy Inspector General of Vaunia, UK Disanayaka, in charges of abetting in the illegal treasure hunt in Vaunia 3 months ago, the police media unit said yesterday. Another news highlight from Ceylon today: another girl raped and murdered. Dumini Pujani Asanta Lankatilake Dizoisa, an 8-year-old girl, has been sexually assaulted and murdered in Janabala village, Akmimana. She was student of Sri Sumangala Vidyalaya, Kurunduwatta, Akmimana. Police suspect that she was murdered on 16 September. Police and residents of the area found her body in the tea plantation near a house. There was blood on child's clothes and there was a cord around the neck. Police suspect that she was sexually assaulted and then strangled. Another news highlight from Ceylon today: drug lord Siddiq further remanded. Chief Colombo Magistrate Gihan Pilapitiya yesterday ordered that international drug dealer Mohammed Siddiq, who has been detained by the Criminal Investigation Department under a court order after being repatriated to Colombo, the further remand until 2nd October 2015. Another news highlight from Ceylon today: war crimes domestic probe will punish officers who order war crimes, Rajitha. 2 leaders of former Mahinda Rajapaksa government and military officers have been attempting to arouse negative sentiments in the army by spreading misinformation about the UNHRC report, COC cabinet spokesman said. Another news highlight from Ceylon today: rapists to be registered in an indexed registry. The National Child Protection Authority acknowledged that with the Ministry of Education had not yet successful in effectively introducing sex education in school. Acting police media spokesman SSP Priyantha Jayakodi said rapists in the future will be registered in a sex offenders index and registry. He added there were no failure in investigation into case of rape, adding the following: an investigation charges would be filed in court and that it was during the process of calling witness to give evidence that the case would be punished forwarded to the likely periods because of reluctance on the part of the witness to give an evidence in the court. We brought you the paper highlights of today's newspaper. We will bring you more tomorrow. Thank you.